So my relationship with Sam stretches back a few years. I don't really know exactly what is it, 3 years, 4 years, don't know, wasn't really counting. But at some point, Sam was in contact with a lot of the Orthodox in the circle that I was in, with like UJ, with Lewis, and some other people, and was having an influence on unorthodox, a lot of other denominations as well, quote unquote denominations. And he came out and basically said that he became a member of the Assyrian Church of the East, which is obviously Nestorian. A lot of people will say, no, it's not Nestorian and stuff. We have our whole talk of why the Church of the East is Nestorian. But nevertheless, at that time, I called Sam out on this. I didn't really have an all too good relationship with Sam at the time. There may have been some interactions here and there, but there were not really any good substantive relations. And I just wanted to call him out given the influence that he has on his platform. And he didn't take well to that. He just took it as a personal attack. He bashed me. You can go on the streams and see in the history there where he basically took a very combative approach. And many people had approached me, and they who knew Sam, who have been friends with Sam, or friends, or just friendly, or have known him for quite some time, and they were counseling me, saying, this is not the way to get through to Sam. You have to take a different approach with him. You cannot be direct and combative. You need to really be kind, loving, patient, and you just need to basically foster an atmosphere of dialogue with him if you want to get through to him. And so, taking the counsel of people, I backtracked my aggressiveness with regards to calling him out, and attempted to make amends with him, and to basically treat him in a kind way, teach him orthodoxy proper, make him see the errors of the Church of the East and the theology. And at that point, I was convinced that he didn't really understand the theology proper. He didn't really know what he was getting into, that his joining the Church of the East was really something that was emotional. It was not knowledge, because there's no way that you can say certain things that Sam was saying in terms of what he holds to certain aspects of Christology, even though he does have errors in his tridology and Christology. There are certain things that he says that are correct. And those things, if he's holding to that and believes in that, it's irreconcilable with the Church of the East's position. We're not saying the same thing. And so I knew right away that he was not intellectually adept to be able to see these things. And so I wanted to teach him, I wanted to coach him and instruct him to basically understand what he was getting into. And so Sam and I, we developed a very close relationship behind the scenes. We would talk quite a bit privately. I would join a lot of times his streams, contribute to his streams, the teachings that people were hearing from him. I was always presenting the Orthodox position. So whatever Sam was talking about, I would chime in and say, this is what the Orthodox believe, or I can affirm, yes, Sam is correct. This is patristic. Like, he's not erroneous on everything. So I want people to know that there is a lot of good that comes from him. He does speak a lot of truthful things, but it's that 1% of poison that is enough to poison the entire well. And so that's kind of where we're at right now, where it's reached a point where, with my interactions with Sam over 2-3 years, this person is not interested in learning. Despite what he said, the benefit of the doubt that we gave him, that he's on this journey, he's going to find the church that speaks most truthfully to him, and that he really wants to know the issues, he really wants to go down into the issues. That's a lie. He absolutely is not willing to take the time to actually learn. What he is doing is he has preconceived notions, and he's just sifting through what people are telling him and what he comes across in some of the stuff that he's reading that affirms him So he's basically looking like for a confirmation bias for the position that he wants to actually hold to. He's not interested in learning about orthodoxy. He doesn't care about being catechized or instructed. And that's one of the big problems with Sam is in order to enter the Orthodox Church, you have to be catechized. You have to be receptive to being told you are wrong.
It's a reboot. You got to reboot and start over.
Yeah, exactly. It is a reboot. It is not just changing a few things that you kind of brought on as baggage. This is a complete destruction of your existing worldview, and you have to build a new foundation and start from scratch. And Sam is not the type of person who will take well to that. He has been for a very long time teaching people, and he is not willing to become the student. As much as you may think he says he wants to be the student, that he wants to learn, no, he wants to teach. And if you do not go along with what he is teaching you, you will get the stick. He will start pounding on you.
What? Yeah. Before you said that, I would add just to throw in that it was a very similar move in terms of his argumentation, and I was in the background there as well. You were first doing a lot more work with Sam maybe 3 or 4 years ago than I was, and I remember then it was, well, Assyrian Church of the East, it's all good, we're all cool because that's my background, that's what I feel is right for me, it's my heritage, it's this, it's that. Bad reasons. And then when it's, well, I go to the Catholic Church now because they'll give me communion and a bunch of mystical things happen and I met cool people that had to be God's miraculous Catholic providence. So there's a bad reasons is the point I'm getting at. In both cases, it was bad reasons. And he would even say at times, well, I'm not going to go to the Orthodox Church because they're not going to give me communion. In other words, I have to start over and be catechized.
That's right, exactly. And he has pointed that out. He's like, the Orthodox are very strict. They will not give him communion. So he knows about that. And he's, I think, the kind of person, he has a kind of temperament that he doesn't want to wait. He's not patient. He doesn't want to go through the hoops. He just wants something that is going to satisfy his inquiry right now. And he's finding that in Roman Catholicism. So it's definitely not an intellectual way of looking at things. But one of the things that when he was going into the Church of the East was he left Protestantism, and even early in those times he was starting to kind of talk about this apostolic Christianity type thing, where he's recognizing apostolic churches. He's saying that the fullness of the truth can be found in the apostolic churches, in the apostolic tradition, and he names them explicitly as Roman Catholicism, Orthodoxy, the Orientals, and the Church of the East. These are all the ancient churches. And the way he likes to frame it, and I think this is a very, very terrible way to frame it, and I disagree with it completely, is the analogy he gives is if you think of like a dollar bill, so some of these churches have more fullness of that dollar. So let's say if Orthodoxy has $1 worth, Roman Catholicism might have 90 cents worth of the dollar, the Orientals might have 70, and the Church of the East might have 50 or something like that. So it's like you have these bits of truths in all of them, but they're all kind of making up the same currency. And so they're all valid. It's just really which one of these is going to give you the most fullness of that truth that you're seeking, and that will satisfy your personal journey. So, for example, if the 50% that you can find in the Church of the East is sufficient for you because that 50% meets your standards and you're happy as a layperson to stay at that level, then go to the Syrian Church of the East. If you're a little bit more intellectual, you need a little bit more depth, okay, maybe go to the Orientals or go to the Roman Catholics. That'll satisfy your inquiry because these are all valid churches. It's just really more of where you're personally comfortable. And if you want like the absolute truth, go to the Orthodox Church. I mean, it's kind of ironic that he seems to treat the Orthodox Church as having the most fullness of the faith, but yet he's reluctant to come to Orthodoxy. But nevertheless, that analogy, that's the way he's been presenting his conception of apostolic Christianity and the apostolic churches. Now, during this time that I'm with Sam over the course of 2-3 years, I'm biting my tongue a lot of the times. I'm restraining myself because, as people counsel me over and over again, be patient with Sam, be patient with Sam, teach him. And that's what I tried to do. I would give him sources to read. I would try to engage him in dialogue. I would try to explain things to him. A lot of times we would just have personal Skype calls. Sometimes they would just be direct messages. I would send him a list. Hey, if you want to understand these, look at the list of this stuff, read it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I sent many links, many, recommendations, many, clips, many, copy paste snippets. I don't think any of those ever set in.
No, they never set in, and it was just basically the making absolute no headway with him. And then it culminated now, your experiences with him and just having my absence away from the apologetic scene for a while, and then that whole mix up with the streams that we were doing for the Orientals series, which I initially was going to do that on Sam's channel.
Right.
And Sam just kept delaying it. And I have the messages to prove it. He admits to being at fault for delaying the appearance of those streams. I was ready when I had initially said the time frame that I wanted to come on. He delayed it, and he was giving very dumb reasons. The guy can go and do streams for 3 hours every single night, and he's giving me dumb reasons for not doing the stream with regards to the Orientals. Obviously, he did not want me to come there and start basically starting a war with all these other apostolic churches that he's trying to promote, because this is now just basically him being a conduit for presenting theology that is in contradiction to what he wants to espouse. And so it just reached that point where it's like, okay, it's clear he doesn't want to delve into this issue and he's not serious about it. So I approached you, Jay, and I said, Jay, let's do it on your channel. And I'm glad that we did that, because it led us to just do it on our time frame with you, me, and David. We're unrestrained. We can freely speak what we want to say with regards to ecumenism. We're not going to hold back. We're not going to have any concerns that we're going to insult the audience because, oh, they're Roman Catholic or so. It's like, if you get insulted, that's your problem. We're going to speak the truth. And if you're insulted by the truth, that's on you. That's not on us. And so that's where we started. And that's basically where my break came with Sam. And when we started our streams, I kind of made some comments with regards to the Orientals, who I don't really look too favorably upon. These people are very vicious. They attack Orthodox constantly.
And they will team up with anyone Protestant or Catholic to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Orientals, they hate Orthodox more than they hate Muslims. And this is, if you interact with them to any extended period of time, you will see this. The Orientals hate Orthodox. Like, this is a hate. This is not a dislike. This is an absolute hate. And they really love Muslims more than they love us. And it's sad that that is the state of affairs. But basically, I made my own remarks with regards to them that is fairly stern. And Sam jumped on this, and he just made me out to be the devil, and look at the way Kai is talking and this and that and whatever. At this point, I don't really care. My relationship with Sam is more or less now non-existent, because I see it's a futile effort. And so you have the incident with you then blowing up, and then Sam coming after you because what, you challenged him to a debate? Like, this is ridiculous. It's like,
well, let's be clear. So you I don't think you knew this, but already in the background, we had for many weeks and maybe even a few months been discussing the possibility of doing some sort of roundtable discussion.
Yeah.
Originally, that was going to be on Sam's channel, and the idea was to have me, couple other people, you, Lewis, Ubi, whoever was willing to come on, and then it would be on the other side, Albrecht, Yossi, and whoever else. And it sounded good at first, and then it kind of got postponed. The first it was, oh, Albrecht can't do it. Then it was Yossi can't do it. He's got kids or family or something. And then Ubi can't do it. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, Ubi wasn't able to because he had to do the Ibarra debate, but the Ibarra debate got postponed. Then everybody said, well, it needs to be after, December, maybe into January. So everybody legitimately had a bunch of stuff going on. It wasn't people trying to get out of it. But then eventually, Ubi's own personal interactions with Albrecht, he had a really hard time trying to get Albrecht to do anything, nailing him down on any dates or anything. And then Ubi finally told me, I'm not going on your panel because I don't care about Sam, and I'm not interested in interactions with Albrecht because he just always postpones it and never gives you a set date, and he always whines and bitches about the terms of the debate. So Ubi was just like, I'm not interested. So that left me like kind of looking for the possibility of other people. That didn't look like that was ever going to happen. And so Sam was doing a discussion about Protestant views of the Trinity and who was the best amongst the Protestants. And I was messaging Sam at the time, and I just said something like, well, I'm not really a big fan of any of the Protestant models of the Trinity. So I said, why don't you and Albrecht come on my channel and we'll finally have this discussion. And I said, it was very polite, just a simple DM. We can do it even with timed responses. That way nobody talks over anyone, nobody gets mad. It's, you talk for 5 minutes, I talk for 5 minutes, you talk for 10 minutes, that way it works. Then that was just it. He just blew up. So
yeah, and the rest is history. It's all archived now. So yeah, I mean.